Hey, what's up, friend? You are you interested in lack of skill? Yeah. Or maybe some suck. I'm just a new guy for the love of game. Wait, don't go. I know it's bad. Times have changed, but not by mad. Don't you know that games are my thing? Yeah, I know it's getting real late. Come on, look at me. I even do storytelling. Also, podcasts on great game subjects. Okay, yeah, I'm not a Markiplier or a PewDiePie. But hey, that's what makes me so unique, right? Right? Right?
Oh, hello everybody, I know who you guys are. Hey, welcome to the Niko Show. How's it going? I hope you're all doing okay. Hey, I'm still alive, see? It says I'm dead, but I'm still alive. Just because I'm as pale as a ghost doesn't mean I'm dead. Okay, hello everybody. My name is NikoTheLegend, also known as the well-mannered teenager, the snowflake, the rambling idiot, and Vigil. I hope you're all doing well. It's a chilly day here in Florida, and I'll tell you what day we're broadcasting this. Broadcasting, as in recording, pre-recorded stuff. We haven't done a live recording in a while now. One day I'll get back to it. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it right now. Maybe it's because I stream enough as it is, and I like to just stream games mainly. But who knows? We'll come back to it eventually. Yeah, we're February 14, 2022. Lovebirds around there. Everybody's gonna be having sex without condoms, so the world will be infested with more babies. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Well, a little bit. Anyway, that's besides the point, guys. I just made some dark humor there. I hope nobody shuns me on that. Haha. We can joke. We can make jokes still, right? God, please tell me we can still do it. So, I'm going to tell you flat out, I'll be honest with you guys, this is a filler episode, which is really surprising because I haven't done an episode on the Niko Show for, 14 days now. So, 2-week filler episode, yeah. But there's good reason. Just kidding, there's not. I just haven't been able to get around to it. But the episode after this one, I'll make it up to you guys because the next episode's going to be great. Because I have my dear friend, my dear pal, John Paul Hayward, who, if you remember, if you guys have been watching this show at least since, I think, March of last year, or was it May? Him and I he was a special guest on the show, and we talked all about him, his music, and his inspirations, like the 101 about John Paul Hayward. So, we're having him back on again, which I can't wait. John, if you're listening to this, that one goes out to you, bud. We're going to be talking about one of our favorite games of all time is Chrono Cross, because if you don't know, the big reveal at the latest Nintendo Direct revealed that Chrono Cross is coming back, remastered style, and it looks great. I hope it plays great still. It's coming back to current gen consoles and all that. And let's just say I already have it pre-ordered on the Switch. $20. It's the Ultimate Edition of the game. I've been doing plenty of videos on the YouTube channel, so shameless plugs aside, you could check those out and just to see what it's all about. So I would appreciate that. But hey, if you're just stopping by and listening to me, my dear voice, I appreciate it. And hey, let me know if you guys like what you hear, see, feel, smell. It smells usually bad. I got some bad BO after the gym today. But check me out some more, I always need the appreciation, I need it, right? I need it. But yeah, you can find the Niko Show here on Spotify. This is where you can listen. On YouTube, because this video will be uploaded. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter. You can join the Discord server. All the links will be down below. And I do post these episodes on Facebook, so the sky's the limit where Niko. There is no limit. Niko is everywhere, so you'll definitely get a shot at least giving some kind of a shit about me. Now, last shameless plug. I have this new channel called Let's Plop. It has barely gotten anywhere off the ground because YouTube these days is a pile of crap. With who they want to get famous and who they don't want to. It's pretty blatantly obvious they don't like me at all. But Let's Pop. Hey, if you missed those good old days of dual commentary, kind of gang grump style, making jokes, talking, playing your me and a buddy. It's always me and a buddy playing our favorite games, or maybe favorite games or terrible games, and we're just having a good time, or maybe not having a good time, but we do some commentary. So if you missed those good old days and are tired of seeing Twitch highlights, stream highlights, whatever you want to call it, then this is the channel for you. I know you can just go and just watch old Let's Plays of your favorite Let's Play channels, but you know, I don't know how many Let's Play channels are out there doing dual commentary and making jokes and all that stuff, you know, or just that type of entertainment value, if you want to call it that. So, hey, that is Let's Pop. That link will be down below too. So, like I said today's show is going back to the top 100 video games list. This is part 2 because I never finished it because it's long, and I try to spend a good amount of time giving you my biggest opinion and if I played the game or not and how I feel about where it's placed on this top 100. So I think, holy crap, you know what? Last time I did this, I think I just started right from the get-go on this list. There was no bullshit. So I might have to do that because this list, we're only at like 62 on this list, or 63 or something like that. We have a way to go. This is a long list. It might take just 3 parts doing it whenever I decide to get through it all. So I had some weird news. I'll just let you guys know what it is real quick. Just so you have an idea, and let your imaginations run wild while I bring up the list. So this first one here is man battling town over whether pot-bellied pig is livestock or emotional support pet. Why can't it be both? And then this next one I had was former manager of DoD Aerospace Threat Program. UFOs are real. And I've been listening to a lot of Coast to Coast radio. If you don't know what that is, I highly recommend looking it up. If you like the sci-fi phenomenon or UFO phenomenon, if you like the hidden mysteries of the world or things that people don't really talk about that they should talk about, Coast to Coast, it's been around a long time. It's a great podcast. It actually has been getting episodes on Spotify. Not a fish. I don't think they're a fish like an actual guy from Coast to Coast, like company or whoever the host on the show. I don't know if it's actually them personally uploading episodes, but somebody is, and it's great, and they upload like a bazillion episodes a day. So whoever you are out there, I appreciate it. Actually, I can find out right now on my phone. Let's find out. So right now I'm gonna look at my phone and see what's like, at least say the artist's name and give him a round of applause for doing this, because I listen to Coast radio every morning while I'm getting ready to go to work. It's great. Also great to listen before you go to bed too. I highly recommend it. You know, I'm just such a nice guy. So all these episodes are about the main host, Art Bell. He's not around anymore, but he is the head honcho. Okay, it just says the artist is just the Art Bell Tape Vault. That's it. That's the artist. Okay, well, whoever you are, I appreciate it. Here you go, round of applause. Hey, who brought in Anakin? I swear, that guy's an ass. So, yeah, that's what we were going to talk about today. But like I said, I just realized that that's not going to be a thing. So, lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all things Pluto-kin and science-kin, we are going to be doing this here. We are going back to this. We're going back to the basics. I hope I didn't reveal too much information there. You guys didn't see that. Okay. So let's not talk about Kotaku. Kotaku I don't really give 2 shits about because they're just a stupid pile of crap and they'll write about anything. But at least they have a source to go from that's an official source, not just their own really lame opinions. If anybody knows Kotaku's reputation as of late, it's pretty shite. They just talk out of their asses on a lot. Oh, Niko, list some examples. Everything a Kotaku does. Anyway, let's start right away. Yes, we were at 63. So the last game we left off was Pokemon Heart Gold, so Silver. And let me tell you guys, like I said, I have a heart of gold when it comes to that game. One of my favorite games of all time. And I know I say that, willy-nilly, but I'm serious. It's my favorite, one of my favorite Pokemon games too. And I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Legends Arceus. And if you haven't yet, check it out. It's for the Switch. Okay, but I'm just, Okay, so let's go. Booyah.
You're gonna see what Joey here is all about.
Okay, the next one is Final Fantasy 3. I think they mean the original version, not the one that we got like the Japanese one off the Super Famicom. Not the one we got the Final Fantasy 6 for the Super Nintendo if you're in the States. That's the Final Fantasy 3 that I only really know. I actually never played the original one. I think it had with the Onion Knight or something like that. I never got a chance to play it. I haven't really been too interested in. But once we get to Final Fantasy 6, I'll tell you all about how I feel about it. Xevious, that's 62. I have no idea what that game is. So we're just going to move on. Like I said, I don't know every single game that's on here. This is Japan's taste in their top 100 video games big poll that they did a while, not too long ago. And as I said in the first part, I was not that satisfied with their decision making and their polls. Japanese gamers really have their game taste flipped on upside down. On the side, I don't even know how to describe it. I can't even talk properly because of how ridiculous it is. Like Bloodborne at 67? What? Super Mario World in the bottom 10? What? Anyway, I guess I just have different taste, of course. So 61. Now here's a special one. Super Smash Brothers. Oh yeah, the ultimate crossover that nobody thought was ever gonna happen or deemed possible. As each entry goes on, the impossible became even more impossible and somehow became possible, if that makes any sense. If you've seen Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's absolutely fucking insane, the type of crossovers that goes on in that game. So Super Smash Bros., I'll give you my rundown on, I love that series. I think it's a great fighting game. Talk about, I'm telling you, dude, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, or Smash Bros. In general, countless memories of playing against my homies and stuff. It's this great fighting game of all your favorite Nintendo characters, and then nowadays on Ultimate, and then some from different franchises. It's an amazing collaboration. I think it's something that needs to be used and held on as a higher standard when it comes to cooperating with other companies, because that's what this is. That's what Super Smash Brothers is. It is proof in the pudding on how companies coming together and coming to a compromise and showing people that it's possible to put these games all these special video game avatars, characters, protagonists, however you want to call it, from all shapes and sizes from different companies around the world under one gaming roof. And that's Super Smash Bros. It didn't start out that way when it came to the first game. The first game came out in the late 90s, and I was wanting to play this game right from the get-go. And it was only like, 8 fighters? Now it's like over 70 or some crazy crap like that. It's insane. So you go from the late 90s to when it came out 2018, 2019, and now it's one of the best games out there, especially if you're a Switch owner. And guess what? If you're a Nintendo owner of any console, from the N64 all the way to the Switch, you have a Smash Brothers game for you to try out. I don't really like Brawl or Melee. I know saying I don't like Melee is sacrilege to a lot of gamers, hardcores, because there's still tournaments going about it. But Melee's physics system, I can't handle that. It's terrible. But Melee was the biggest improvement from the original one. Biggest step up. It was crazy how much the graphics changed from the N64 to the GameCube. Big leaps and bounds. Trust me, do the comparison shots and you'll see exactly what I mean. It's like going from Metal Gear Solid 1 to 2. It's night and day difference. Pretty insane. So Super Smash Bros., like I said, I played it a lot as a kid and I always have to this day. It's been a little while since then, and I can't wait to see what else they do for it. This is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, or the Smash Bros. Franchise, like I said, is a testament of games coming together and companies, our favorite characters under one roof, and companies understanding each other's qualities and, how much people could appreciate. Also, if they see their favorite game in this Nintendo collaboration, people might want to buy more of these games from, Capcom, Konami, or Monolith Soft, so on and so forth, right? So Disney even. You got a Disney character, Sora, for crying out loud. They had somehow Disney and Nintendo met halfway on something. And Nintendo loves Disney. Japan loves Disney. Capcom will let you know how much they do. So that's 61. Number 60. which is Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. This is around the time where I never really gave a shit about Pokemon. It's pretty crazy how many generations I skipped. I skipped, I think, 3 generations of Pokemon back in the day. After Ruby Sapphire, I wish I still had my Ruby version. I lost it. Just, you move a bunch of times, or someone I know stole it. I don't know. When you move quite a bit, you lose stuff in the transition. Unfortunate. But after that, I never played Diamond and Pearl. I never played Black and White. I never played Black and White 2. It wasn't until Heart Gold and Heart Gold and Soul Silver is when I decided to play Pokemon again, because I was like, oh shit, a remake of Pokemon Gold and Silver? Let's fucking go, right? So I never got a chance to experience it until I did Randomizer Nuzlocke, which is what I talked about at the end of the last Top 100 episode, the first part. If you don't know what Randomizer Nuzlocke, I'm not gonna explain it here again. You just have to look it up. It's pretty crazy way of playing Pokemon. It is pretty much permadeath in a nutshell. But I've had a couple friends play it. I thought it was cool. They were kind of just going crazy with triple battles. Moving sprite animations I thought were cool. The sprites looked amazing. I think the best in Black 2 and White 2. But I don't even know if it's just a better version of Black and White or an actual sequel story to Black and White. But maybe one day I'll get to try it out if they ever remake it or something. Who knows? If they find a way to emulate, well, I could emulate it, and I have played it a little bit. I don't really remember too much from it exactly, although it does have an unavoidable tutorial section. I think this is the one where I really didn't like the tutorial part, and then you have to do like some acting thing. You had to put your Pokemon in a movie or something. I couldn't stand it because you're forced to do it, and it's not fun at all. Anyway, that's where we are with Black 2 and White 2. Hey, Pokemon Arceus is fantastic. 59, Dead by Daylight, which is surprising that Japan actually really likes this game. Dead by Daylight came out in 2016, I think. I had it when it was still early access, and I've only played about 15 hours of it, but I know people who have played it a ton. And it can be a pretty fun game if you like those spooky slasher games where you and your buddies are trying to survive against the slasher evil guy, whatever you want to call the antagonist, and you're trying to escape, and you live to fight another day. I only played it less than 20 hours, but I could see why people like it so much because, first, people like getting scared, and two, I think maybe it has a little bit of a competitive side to it. When games they have that competitive edge to it, that's when people like to pay attention to those games. But anyway, that's where we are. 58, Animal Crossing. I don't know which Animal Crossing they're talking about. It's not very specific. Is this the very first one on the GameCube? I guess so. Let's just say I've bought 2 Animal Crossing games and I get bored of them after Animal Crossing New Horizons was fun for the time being when it came out back in 2020, and I spent over 100 hours in it. I got my hours in it, and I'm like, okay, I've seen all I wanted to see. They've been doing some great things with it, with the online DLC and reworking it to where it's more in-depth on your island or living on an island, whatever. But the first one, Animal Crossing, shoot, dude, people were probably blown away by a type of game like that. Very laid back, chill game. If you think about it, most people could play it. I don't think little kids like it too much. At least my niece tried playing New Horizons, and she did not like it at all. Neither did my sister-in-law, because they're like, "What do you do?" Like they're like, I was like, "Just whatever you want." And they're like, "I don't like this," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the same way," because I don't like to just sit there and just force myself to do stuff. Like, there's a lot of chores that you do in that game, and I'm like, I don't come here to do chores or pay off my debt. That's boring. It's like I'm playing Monopoly or some shit. Something like that. Anyway, work with me here. I'm always the type of guy that likes a good story. I'm a huge JRPG is my favorite video game genre, so you know where I'm coming from. I gotta have a point A to point B. And so Animal Crossing, though, when it first came out, it was pretty monumental. I'm sure it made Nintendo a bazillion dollars, and that was, Animal Crossing was supposed to come out on the Nintendo 64 when Nintendo 64 was in its last life, was using its last lifeline. It's when they had that bottom compartment that was supposed to attach. I think it was supposed to have it gives you better graphics, or it was like a CD drive. I don't remember. You guys can correct me somewhere in the comments if you care enough to. Hopefully no one's smashing their keyboard right now. Actually, I kind of want them to. But Animal Crossing was supposed to be Animal Crossing 64, and it was supposed to come out on the N64, but it never did. It was supposed to be, I think it was called Animal Island or something. It had a different name. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So then it just came out on the GameCube. And you know what? They were better off for it because, yeah, it was a great start. I'm telling you, man, the GameCube was an awesome console. I'm telling you, that generation is probably one of my favorites. The Super Nintendo era, the N64 era, and the GameCube era, like, and all the other consoles that came out around that time, that was a great time to be a fucking gamer. At least, I mean, Sega was being extra with Sega Genesis, Saturn, and Sega CD and all that. Like, they were going overboard. And then the Dreamcast, as much as I love that console, just wasn't in the cards because the PS2 absolutely destroyed them. So, yeah, Super Donkey Kong. Is that the arcade game? I think it is. I never really liked those Donkey Kong games. My Donkey Kong experience was Donkey Kong Country, when Rareware stepped into the mix and fucking took the world by storm in platforming Kingdom. Oh my god. Rareware doesn't fuck around with their platformers. Banjo-Kazooie, anyone? Donkey Kong Country, Conker's Bad Fur Day. Amen? Can I get a damn amen? Fucking amen. Holy crap. But yeah, I never played this. I hope we get the Donkey Kong because I'll tell you all about that. Super Mario Galaxy. Great game, by the way. I finally beat it last year when I got the Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I finally fucking beat that game. You know how many times I've played and tried to beat that game? I mean, I think, honestly, I've only owned it once, but that's when I got a Wii back in the day, and then I didn't play my Wii for a while, and I gave it to a friend in all the games. But I played it a bunch of times at other people's houses. I never got a chance to beat it, but fucking finally, I got to beat the game last year. Finally. It was a long time coming. But you know what game I don't like? The sequel. I did not like the sequel at all, but we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, this is a great, if you like 3D platforming games and you haven't played Super Mario Galaxy, what are you waiting for? Mario has done it again with its 2D and 3D platforming. I mean, they're one of the few games that have survived that transition. You know what game hasn't survived going from 2D to 3D, which is kind of sad? Castlevania. So, this next one, 55, Yokai Watch 2. Don't know what the hell that is. So we'll go on to the next one. Now, I mean, I've heard of Yokai Watch, but I honestly don't know what it's about or anything. So sorry, guys. You can let me know down in the comments below if you're not seeing this on YouTube or anywhere. Let me know what it is. I could do the research, but what fun is that? I'll just spoil the fun. 54. Now let me tell you something about Dragon Quest VIII right here. Dragon Quest VIII, I recently bought it for the 3DS, the ultimate version, because that's when I was sick too. I was like, you know what? I love Dragon Quest VIII so much, I'm just going to buy it again for $40 on the 3DS and only play it a few times and then put it down. But jokes aside, Dragon Quest VIII is one of my favorite JRPGs of all time. I can't tell you the amount of fun I had. I know I say that a lot about these games. But this is a game that took me a long time to beat. It started when it came out. My friends, I was playing it with my friends in California. They were my best friends at the time. And it was when it's when I started visiting them California twice a year to see my mom and my friends there, because parents got a divorce, and then my dad, my two brothers, and I, and then ex-stepmom, and then we came here to Florida due to my dad's job transfer for the space program, right? Okay, so I go back twice a year to visit my mom, and then it just so happens one of the times I visit my friends in California, they rented this little game called Dragon Quest VIII, and there's four brothers. The oldest was playing it. And then after he was done, he would let me play it or anybody else that wanted to. So me and the second oldest brother, we would just take turns playing the hell out of this game because this game was so good. Like, this is like pure JRPG bliss. Everything about it was so great. And you can't go wrong with Akira Toriyama's artwork, the great soundtrack, the JRPG gameplay. I can't tell you enough. You have to experience it, man. If you own a PS2 and that's all you have, Dragon Quest 8, I think you can still get it at an affordable price. The 3DS version is the more, I guess, the complete version. It has like a couple extra characters and then more scenarios or something like that. But hey, don't get me wrong, I still had a blast with Dragon Quest 8, and I think that game came out, what, 2003 or 2004 or 5, something around there. It took me almost 10 years to beat it because I got it and then I was so off and on with it, and I got to a certain point in the game and in my life, I died against the final boss and I didn't play it. Like, I got so burnt out from that I didn't play it for like another 5 years, like over 5 years or something crazy like that. And I had to just grind, and I remember just spending hours and hours grinding because Dragon Quest is one of those slow burn grinding RPGs, leveling RPGs. It's not as quick as Final Fantasy. Oh God. Or Breath of Fire takes a long time too, but you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, Dragon Quest 8, Dragon Quest 11 are my favorite Dragon Quest games. If you like Final Fantasy, you like Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, you like Suikoden, whatever JRPG, Xenogears, Dragon Quest 8 is the game for you. You need to try it out. Anyway, Tales of the Abyss. I'm assuming this is a Tales series game. Never played Tales of the Abyss, but I heard it's one of the better ones. The only ones I've really played and beaten is Vesperia, Symphonia, and Arise, I think. Just those three. And yeah, Arise came out last year, and I had a blast playing that game. It took me longer than I thought, and I 100% a JRPG, aka I got all the trophies in it. I don't think I've ever done that for any game. The closest I've ever gotten was Final Fantasy 9 or 7 with 100%ing those games. Before trophies were even invented. Way back in the day. But, you know, the Tales series is another, fans love this type of JRPG series. I say it's a bit more on the underrated side, or like not as popular as Final Fantasy. You know, it's a fucking, Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest are literally like the top two of JRPGs at this moment in time. I think that's fair to say. Fight me on that. But, you know, the Tales series was like, it was doing its own thing. It was, I don't know if it was competing against Final Fantasy, but you know, for the most part, I mean, they made a lot of games with it, and it did great for the most time. For the most part, there's a lot of great Tales games. So I don't see why not people don't want to check it out. So this is interesting. This game was one of the games that really set the. So that was 53, 52. The Legend of Zelda, the original, the classic from the original Nintendo. This is a game that I can remember myself spending countless hours, and this, you know what? This is a game that actually inspired my book writing, the book that I wrote, NikoTheLegend. You know, now you know where I get the title for my channel. Not the same Avatar, though. Avatar's not a frog in the book. Spoilers. But The Legend of Zelda taught me of how something with barely any writing. By the way, as a kid, I don't even think you really care to read the text crawl in the beginning because you have to sit there and wait. It's a game where you literally just plug and play. You turn the game on, you get to the main menu, you press start, you add your name a little bit, you put your name, and then you literally spawn into the world and you just fucking go. And one of the greatest memes or greatest things, video game quotes of all time, was invented in less than 5 seconds, and that's, it's dangerous to go alone, take this. Boom. This is a game that set the precedence for my book and many other people with, I mean, The Legend of Zelda was probably the first open world game ever made, open world RPG. I think people tend to forget that because it is an open world RPG in NES format, and it's fucking crazy how they managed to do that. That's probably why I didn't have too much writing in it, but it doesn't matter because you're just having a blast as a kid. And I was a wee lad when I was playing this because around this time my brothers owned the original Nintendo and Super Nintendo. We never owned Link to the Past for Super Nintendo, but I did play it. But we mainly just had the first Zelda with the gold cartridge, and we still have that, by the way. And I just remember just getting lost in a world like this. I mean, I've got stuck so many times trying to figure out puzzles and stuff, and I couldn't beat certain dungeons because I just didn't know what to do, right? But I'll never forget those memories, and it helped inspire how I started my book, because my book, besides Chrono Trigger and The Legend of Zelda, it's just a no bullshit, no hand-holding type of game, right? You pretty much just start and go, and you're already in the shitter. or the events already take place. Like I like games that do that, where you're just boom, right then and there. So my book does that too, and I think people really enjoy that because it kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat. Now, Breath of the Wild is also Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite Zelda games. It's in my top three Zelda games, right? Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and Breath of the Wild, right? Breath of the Wild took great inspiration from the original Zelda, and they talked about it, where you just do the beginning, the beginning like 5-minute prologue, and then once you get out to the open, the outside in nature, the open world, you're free to just go wherever the fuck you want, and that's great inspiration to have. It inspired countless games to do that same fucking thing afterward. Companies do the same thing. So, Nintendo always somehow is able to reimagine Zelda in such great fashion. It's crazy. So, this original Zelda is a game that you can play anytime. I think it's still just as enjoyable as when I first played it as a kid. I haven't played it in a while, but I know anytime I go into this game, it's just a solid fucking game. The controls are crisp. The game works. There's no Nintendo bullshit, or not Nintendo, but there's no issues, right? You're just playing, and you get fucked up in the game real bad if you're not careful. But it's like the perfect difficulty, and it's like, how do they do that back in the day? It was, oh man, Shigeru Miyamoto definitely got like 50 hand jobs that day, and then had like sex with like 6 different women. I'm just saying, that guy had it made. And that's what he kept saying when he was done finishing. Oh, gross. Okay, so yeah, The Legend of Zelda classic, you guys know as well as I do. And if you don't like Zelda, at least understand why Zelda was so popular to begin with. So, Final Fantasy IV. Now, this is one of the Final Fantasy games that most people will actually agree that it's their favorite. And this is 51. And I can see why I like this too. I actually got the Pixel Remaster that came out maybe 4 months ago. And I mean, I haven't beat it. I haven't actually touched it for a little while. I probably should. But there's something about Final Fantasy IV that I remember playing on Final Fantasy Chronicles for the PlayStation that I liked a lot. I think I just liked the story and the characters and just what happens. I mean, Kain, come on. Kain, Dragoon, Cecil, Dark Knight. I mean, where do you think Final Fantasy XIV got the Dark Knight from? And then he becomes a paladin. It was a really cool concept. And there's a bunch of neat things that they invented that they did in that game. I mean, the job system alone is really... Wait, did they have a job system? No, actually they didn't, right? I think that was 5 when they just gave you the job system again. Anyway, I don't know what it was, but it's just a fun game to play. So it's one of my favorite Final Fantasies. It's in the top 5 for sure. Number 1, Final Fantasy 9, my favorite game of all time, and favorite Final Fantasy. 2 is 7, and then 3 is either 14 or 6. I don't know. So Final Fantasy 4. Hey, check out the Pixel Remaster. It's there. Okay, now we talked about number 50. Now is Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. I talked about how I lost my Ruby version. I was very sad, and this was the first Game Boy Advance Pokemon game. And then after that was Emerald, Leaf Green, and then Fire Red. Those are great Pokemon games too. But I had Ruby version, and I was so fucking pumped to play this. I bought this at Toys R Us. It's no longer there nearby. And I say this about all the games, but I was completely hooked to this game. I enjoyed I'm trying to think. Yeah. 3rd generation Pokemon. It's a brand new generation on a new handheld, better graphics. They were doing some the graphics alone. Man, I just love the art style they used and the way they did it. Great Pokemon starters. All right. Well, I chose Mudkip. You like Mudkip? Anyway, yeah, I chose Mudkip, and then I should have chose Torchic. Damn it, I didn't really care about Trico. That guy's a fucking loser. Well. Slavile is pretty cool. Gravile is not too bad, but Slavile is the way to go, man. That should have been the final form. He's like him and Scyther both have their little scythes, so they can be Scythe bros. But Pokemon Ruby Sapphire, yeah, I had a great time playing it. I remember they invented like the hideout system, which I thought was cool, where you just find a hole in the wall and you're like, hey, you want this to be your hideout? You're like, okay, and you just say yes, and then you go in and it's your fucking hideout, and you're like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. And I think you could have friends come in there and gift you stuff. I don't remember. This is still the time of the link cable, folks. So, I don't know. I just thought it was a fun game. I can't really go too far into it and talking about it. I was, of course, sad that I couldn't play it anymore when I lost my copy. And then I got Leaf Green version. I lost that too. So I must have lost them both around the same time. Ugh, God. And those games are so fucking expensive now, unfortunately. But there is Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, except I didn't have a good time, as much as a good time as I did as a kid. But that was... Alpha Sapphire came out in 2014, 2015 or something. I wanted to give it another shot and see if it really is that bad, now that I have a clearer perspective. It was a weird perspective on what I had on games around my mid-20s, early 20s, mid-20s. Compared to what it is nowadays, I'm much more understandable on where companies come from and why they do make certain decisions for their games and blah, 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 right? So that's Ruby Sapphire. Now, 49 is Kingdom Hearts. You know, I have a love-hate relationship with Kingdom Hearts. My friends and I, it was a huge PS2 game back in the day, man. Still is. It was a game that many people a lot of gamers wanted to try because, well, I like Disney movie-wise. I hate Disney themselves as a business because they're pieces of shit. If you can't figure out why, then I'm sorry, folks. You should really do your homework. But I thought it was a crazy collaboration when Squaresoft at the time, by the way, was doing this collaboration with Disney. And Japan, I'm telling you, likes doing things for Disney. Capcom will tell you all about that. We got the great Aladdin game. But anyway, Kingdom Hearts was that crazy collaboration that you don't see too often with big companies. So people were really curious on who you were going to run into in the Disney game, the Disney side, Disney characters, or the worlds you go to, or the Squaresoft characters you run into. And you run into a lot of interesting Squaresoft and Disney characters in it. Cloud, Leon or Squall, Ares, Sephiroth. I'm just listing Squaresoft characters. There's Moogles. And then you got Donald, Goofy, Pete, Maleficent, Hades, Hercules. The list goes on. But my friends and I, oh my God, dude, the first game, we played the living daylights out of that game. Absolutely crazy how much we played that. We would fight over who gets to go next on playing the game. Anybody remember spending like multiple hours leveling up in the Hercules Coliseum, just doing the hardest wave and just killing those enemies over and over and over and over again? And then who can forget the Sephiroth fight, right? Oh my God, shit's crazy. So yeah, it was an interesting concept, but I played Kingdom Hearts, and I don't know how I beat it as a kid. Around that time, I was like 13 or 14. But I tried beating that game a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and I fucking hated that game. It is so, well, I don't hate it. The combat system is clunky. I didn't realize, like I said, I didn't realize that as a kid. I didn't know better. I mean, it's the first game because I'm so used to playing Kingdom Hearts 3, which has an amazing combat system. It works very well. But yeah, it was clunky. There was a lot of like silly annoyances and navigating through like the quick menus and stuff like the menus and healing your party members. I remember was really annoying. Also, your team's AI is terrible. And then let me tell you something. When you get the Hollow Bastion in the game, and then from then on, the game it just plummets. It just becomes so obnoxiously stupid hard that I couldn't do it. I got to this. I can't remember what the boss's name. I don't know if it was Ansam's first form or one of the bosses. I couldn't do it, man. It was such a badly designed boss. It was so busted. And I just tell myself, I don't know how I did it as a kid. I can't do this. Like, I literally stopped playing the game after that, and I haven't touched it since. Anyway, Kingdom Hearts 2, I like that game way better than Kingdom Hearts 1. They learned their lesson from Kingdom Hearts 1, at least from when I played it back in the day. I got like 98% done with that game. I was playing at a friend's house. Didn't get a chance to beat it, unfortunately. Kingdom Hearts 3 I was pretty excited about because about fucking time. From 2 to 3, it took them so many fucking years, so many stupid filler games, so many convoluted, transparent ambiguous fucking storyline. It's got the worst storyline I've ever seen for a game. It's so fucking dumb and over the top and confusing. Nobody can follow that story unless you have. It's literally you have to study. You have to have flashcards to understand this game's story. And I thought I was getting it when I was playing the third game. They did an okay job explaining it, but dude, there's just too many years to catch up on. Too many things that go on. So, Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't even really have any Squaresoft characters. It just had the Moogles, and that was it. I hated that. I hated, what's his name? Tamura? I can't remember the guy's name. Tetsuya Nomura, I think is his name. Yeah, fuck that guy for... He thought it wasn't necessary to have Squaresoft characters in the game. Shame on you. Fucking shame on you. Because it was. Because that's the only reason why I gave a shit about your game in the first place. Is that crazy collaboration. Anyway, Kingdom Hearts, love it, hate it. I don't care either way. I have a love-hate for it. I got fond memories of it in the past, but recent memories, not so much. Now, here's a game that I think gets more... Way... Number 48. Honestly, I streamed this game a lot last year. Nier Automata, whatever you want to call it. This is a super overrated game. So overrated that not everybody can 100% this game because it's so pointlessly long and it's way too repetitive for my taste. So, Nier Automata is this third-person JRPG. I think it was developed by... Oh god, I was about to say... Platinum Games? Did they do it? Was it Platinum Games? I'm going to look this up in real time. You guys don't mind, right? Okay, cool. Click. Yeah, developer Platinum Games. Look, this is supposed to be a sequel to Nier when that came out. And I still do want to play the new Nier game that came out whenever it's fucking cheap. Jesus, it's taking them a long-ass time because it does look more interesting than Nier Automata. But Nier Replicant, that's what it is. So, it's not a bad game. It's not a bad game, but it's not that fun either. It's really pretty basic. I mean, some of the character designs are kind of cool. I mean, I think people are just way too thirsty for 2B. Or 2A, 2B. I feel terrible. I think it's 2B. With her thick thighs. I mean, yeah, she's a gorgeous lady. But... I mean, and the soundtrack are fantastic. But the world itself is very bland and boring, and it uses a lot of like melancholy type colors. It's very drab, and it's a depressing game. It's a very somber, melancholy game. If I wanted to do that and play something that's extra raw with melancholy and a thirst for longing, it's Dark Souls 2. Boom! Wish we hadn't got the Dark Souls on here yet. Oh yeah, that's coming. But yeah, I beat it 3 times. I went through 3 different campaigns, and I'm like, I don't see what the appeal is, honestly. I think people are just... I think they're just so delusional. Like, they get so overly obsessive over things, and they don't want to admit that they don't care about it as much. And they try to make it relevant. I mean, I don't know. I remember streaming it, and I had people coming in the stream saying that it was kind of a boring-looking game. I'm like, yeah, it's not that great. It's not my favorite role-playing game. It has some neat concepts to it, but just. Okay. Final Fantasy 14, number 47. They should specify which Final Fantasy 14. The original shit show that almost destroyed Square Enix, or Final Fantasy 14 or Realm Reborn. Let's go with that one, the successful one. Or I might be wrong. This might not be the successful one. I don't know. But let's go with the successful one. So I'll give you the rundown of Final Fantasy 14, which it's really weird how they have 2 Final Fantasy MMOs. I don't know how people how they don't have a hard time colliding with one another. I mean, I know Final Fantasy 11 is old. It came out a long time ago, and the servers are still online to this day, which I appreciate Square Enix for doing that. And I'm sure there's a very tight community that still play it. Maybe there's enough people and they see that they're making some money off of it still. But shit. But you have Final Fantasy 14, which Final Fantasy 14 came out early in the 2010s, and it did so bad. It was a broken game. It came out just literally unfinished, like the most unfinished you could ever see a game. It was like pre-alpha type. And Square Enix decided to put that out there. Deadlines, I guess, right? It did so bad, and people were so upset that played the game that they had to shut the game down, and they had to make the game again. But guess what? They didn't completely scrap the story. They continued the story. I think that's why they talk about the calamity. I think that's like symbolic for Final Fantasy XIV's original shit show. Yeah, and I was super pumped to check this game out. But lo and behold, it did doo-doo pie. But when Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn came out, the world was saved, Square Enix was saved, they were able to stay afloat. And nowadays, it's considered one of the best games. Definitely the best, most popular MMO right now in the market. It's not World of Warcraft, that's for fucking sure. And it's a fantastic game. Now, of course, Final Fantasy XIV, the vanilla version of it, without the expansions, it's pretty grindy, and the story, it's a little bit rough around the edges, but it's enjoyable enough to get through. It doesn't take that long. But when you get to the expansions, oh my god, dude, every expansion is absolutely the tits, and you will have a great time. I haven't got a chance to play Endwalker, but I do plan on playing the shit out of it this summer with a friend of mine, getting to max level, because I played Heavensward, I played Stormblood, I played Shadowbringers, and then you got Endwalker. They're all badass names for expansions, by the way. So, I look forward to that. And if you are looking for an MMO to try out that will be worth your time, Final Fantasy XIV is the way to go. Okay, Dragon Quest II. I haven't really played that, dabbled with it. It came out on the original Nintendo. I don't know too much about it. So, that's 46. We'll just move on. 45, Kirby's Return to Dreamland. I think is that a Game Boy or GameCube one? Never really got a chance to play it. My favorite Kirby game, though, is Kirby Superstars. That game, to this day, ladies and gentlemen, it's still a fucking blast to play. I kid you not. Go back right now and play Kirby Superstar wherever you can find it, and you will have a blast with it. It is still it's probably one of the best co-op games I've ever played, and it's just I don't know how they do it. I don't know how Hal did it, Hal Incorporated, but it is such a fun game. It is so enjoyable. It's colorful. You get cool powers. You gotta like Kirby. He's this cute little pink balloon guy. Well, he turns into a big pink balloon. And then you get to hang out with a homie, with your friend. He becomes whatever power you suck up and crap out. I mean, it's so good. I mean, not every playthrough is the same too, because you don't even get the same powers each time, depending on how you play. It's just, it's a great game. Except I hate the Great Cave Offensive. That one I hate. That's the worst scenario in that game. All the other scenarios are great, just because it's so much backtracking. It's like becomes like a labyrinth type of scenario. So, test it out. 44, Dragon Quest X. You know what? I am very upset with Square Enix. You want to know why? Because they fucking haven't brought Dragon Quest X to the U.S. yet, or to Europe, to our neck of the woods. And all I hear are great things about Dragon Quest X for the people that have paid for an API to translate the game for them to play in the States or wherever else. And it makes me mad. And you know what? I actually downloaded it for my computer and my Switch, believe it or not, because you can play it on the Switch, which is crazy. And I just can't do it. I can't enjoy it without knowing what it says. It's kind of crazy when you're playing a game in a different language. It reminds me of the good old days when I had a modded console playing Japanese games. Like Super Nintendo or PlayStation. Yeah, I remember the good old days of having a modded chip in your PlayStation to play PlayStation 1 games. Oh yeah, I remember those days, baby. Those were great. Playing like Dragon Ball Z, old Dragon Ball Z games and stuff. Yeah. Dragon Quest X, and you know what's even more anal, just a crime, is that they're releasing a Dragon Quest X offline version for current gen consoles, and it's not coming to the States either. It's only in Japan. It's Japan only. I'm like, what? Why? Why is it taking you so long to bring it over to the States? Like, what the fuck? I mean, you brought Final Fantasy 11 and 14 to the States. I don't understand. Japan, Square Enix makes such weird decisions on how they handle their IPs. It's so fucking bizarre. If anybody knows as much as I do on how strange Square Enix, how they just publish their games and treat them, their IPs, it's unbelievable. Okay, Xenoblade. Which one? Xenoblade Chronicles? It's not Xenogears. Xenogears? Wait. Wait, is it called Xenoblade? Is this the one off the PlayStation? There's so many, I'm sorry. No, that's Xenogears. Xenogears, Xenosaga, and then Xenoblade Chronicles. Chronicles 1, 2. Whoa, what are they fucking talking about? Okay, I don't know. Whoever did this list did a piss poor job. Xenogears, fantastic JRPG for the PlayStation 1. Xenogears, Chronicles, it's a great JRPG. I don't know what else to talk about. Just, yeah. Okay, Persona 5. We talked about Persona 5 Royale in the other part, so I won't dive too deep into this because I want to move down the list here. Momotaro Dentetsu. I don't know what this is. That's number 41. I guess it's only in Japan, so good job, Japan. Okay, we'll end it off on this last one because if we ever do a bottom 40 is when it starts getting interesting with these games. So Xenogears, I just talked about it. This is a game that was so ahead of its fucking time, and it had such a dynamo team working on it. It had Final Fantasy developers working on it, Dragon Ball Z developers working on it. You had Akira Toriyama, Yoshinori Mitsuda. Then you had some people from like the great gurus from Final Fantasy working on this game. Some really crazy head honchos, and Squaresoft just fucked them over in the end. I mean, there's 2 discs. The second disc is the one that they butchered the most, like the last fourth. The last leg of the journey was just more dialogue, I guess, or something like that, and they just had to just compile it. Imagine if they released like the Ultimate Edition with all the cut content. They cut out a lot to meet the deadline. It pissed those developers off so bad that worked on this game. The same developers that worked on Chrono Trigger, the same people, but it pissed them off so bad on how they treated them. They went and made their own company called Monolith Soft, and they made the Xenosaga continue. They made Xenosaga, then they made Xenoblade Chronicles, and they're still going to this day. Yeah, way to go, Squaresoft. I would love to see a Xenogears remaster if that was ever possible, because I'm telling you, this game, I don't even know. It's like to me, it's like a sci-fi western type game, not like so western like Wild Arms or something, but it does kind of give you like that western martial arts feel to it, if that makes sense. But you're in mechs too, and you just have to see it, how well that they choreograph this game, all the events that take place. It's like you're playing a game that was made in today's world. Not like the shitty modern gaming, but like that type of budget. Like you get that idea, like they were putting a lot of money, heart and soul into this fucking game. And I played at least 20-something hours. It's a 50-hour game. I remember I was streaming it quite a bit, and I was having a good time playing this game. But it's a sad day when it gets butchered in the end. So, like Natural Republic 2 or Fallout New Vegas, that is all we're going to be talking about. We are down to the bottom 40. And guess what? If we ever do part 3, it starts with Dark Souls 3. So, folks, what do you think about that list so far? Like I said, if you want to know what the other ones are, check out the link or the article below in the description, and then you can check out... Oh shit, I can't even talk. You can check out the first part video, which you don't have to scroll too far back on the archives. You'll see it. I like to hear what you guys have to say, and you know what? I appreciate it. And don't forget, the next episode will have the great John Paul Hayward, the guy who did Cross Symphonic, huge Chrono Cross fan, great guy. We're doing is just having a conversation about how much we love Chrono Cross. There's going to be a lot of like dick stroking of the franchise and a lot of butt sucking. So if that's something you're into, hey, me too. So thanks everybody for stopping by. If you like what you saw today, feel free to check me out on the NikoTheLegend channel, Spotify, Twitter, all those links down below. NikoTheLegend, One Manor Teenager, Snowflake, Rambling Idiot, and Vigil. I hope you Pathfinders take care, because there'll be plenty of more excitement to come. Oh boy!